All right, here we are again. This, as they always say, save the best till last, and that's what we've done here with Ruskagen. Again, joined by fellow Formula Man iRacing legend Woody. Thanks for being here for what is probably the best race of the week. On a pretty enjoyable track overall, I'd say.
Hi, mate. Yeah. Well, we covered it in the last video, didn't we? This is a new track for me, and
yeah.
I quite enjoyed watching you drive it, and I think I'm tempted to have a little bit of a go later on as well. But yeah, it's really, we're just here to just talk about the week, and
Yeah.
like I said, I haven't done a great deal this week, so how was it gone for you?
No, it's been good. Let's say I think I touched on in the last video. It was a good race, a good track to drive, but difficult to race. Yeah, I found myself doing a lot more practice than actual races. Like when I was at Daytona last week, I'd spent more time actually doing the races, and doing the short practice sessions leading up to it. But this week I did a bit more practice and then did a handful of races, whereas I did about 10 races at Daytona, I think. Not all of them went on YouTube because, you know, YouTube is for the good stuff and we don't want to show bad stuff. But although there are some interesting moments,
all the bad stuff.
well, not all of it. Yeah, we have to include some because otherwise everything would look like I'm a fantastic racer. But no, you have to show the good with the bad. And I think the last video actually, some of the Mazda incidents, you know, could have been a bit 50-50. So if you want to see them and have any input, have a look, check them out. I'll take feedback because as a rookie, we're learning. But this guy ahead of me was fantastic because he's driving the KFC bucket, and I think it's a fantastic skin, a fantastic car livery he's got. But
Well,
yeah, good track.
it made you hungry following him around, then, did it?
Oh, it did, yeah. I can't remember if he gets away from me, but I hope he does because it just makes me think of food all day, which is not good when you're driving and trying to concentrate. But here we go. We're going green. It starts quite early, which is quite interesting that it starts on this sort of...
Definitely, I think here you definitely should have got a little bit closer to the chicken man. I think.
Yeah, chase down the chicken.
Because on your whole side there, you can see how far behind on your actual side of the field's gone. I mean, it does give you some more breathing room into turn one, I suppose.
Oh, there we go.
My word.
Yes, this is a common
Is that
theme.
a blink?
Yep, and then this is right. This
Oh,
race,
it's fine. Go.
that annoyed me because this gives me a slowdown, a 3-second slowdown penalty nearly, right? Because so I either go into a car and crash out, or get a 2.8 second slowdown penalty for that, and I think that's a bit harsh. I know we touched it on the other video, but
It is harsh, but it's the same for everybody.
but it's like, you know, if I go left, I crash into people. If I go right, slow down, it's...
But the 3-second slowdown, as I mentioned last week on one of the videos, I think it's purely because it's the first lap.
Yeah, that's true.
And you haven't done a...
That was a nice overtake, by the way.
Yeah. And you haven't on the nice Castrol Super livery as well. There's a car facing you here.
Chicken man
and
stopped.
The KFC man is around. He was winging it, but it didn't work for long enough for him.
Oh yeah, all his chips were in that corner, I think.
But the lion in the corner's lost his hat, I've noticed as well.
We've had the nod to Lando Norris.
Here we go.
That was my bad. That was just it was
dear.
it was all
there goes the bucket.
carnage. The bucket's back.
Yeah, that one's 100% awful. I think.
Yeah, that was just not. That was not good. I mean, he got the position back. And then
Did you hit him again?
I don't think I hit him then because I didn't get any. Nothing popped up saying contact, so I think he just lost the back end there.
It was very close.
It was close, but yeah, I believe I didn't get him because, like I said, I do keep an eye on the incidents because I like to make sure that what I'm doing. But yeah, after that last incident where I took 2 of about, it was a 5x, and then yeah, so if I had hit him there, it would have been another 3 or 4x. So.
Is your steering okay after that? Was it?
Yeah, there was no damage. It was fine, oddly enough. And then someone put in the chat, "Kevin, you best." I think he either didn't finish the sentence or he meant beast.
Or he was being sarcastic.
Yeah. But yeah, so different video because I didn't actually save the replay, so we're watching this from Driver Cockpit only this week, which will probably give you a bit more of an interesting idea of how the track actually comes, because watching it from the far chase cam is interesting. You see everything around you, but I think to really get a feel for the track, watching it from a driver's perspective in the cockpit, really, you get a real feel for how sort of roller coaster some parts are. So here we're dropping down to first to try and keep it tight, but I do end up getting a little bit away sometimes from that corner. But yeah, like I say, it's been a good track to drive. It's been a good one to learn.
Oh, shenanigans ahead.
Yeah, there's always shenanigans.
That's that same corner, isn't it? And
Yeah.
that's 3 into 1 again. So
That corner is not one where you want to go. And there was that corner in the last video where the Mazda dive bombed the inside and almost took everyone out.
But I do think that when, you know, by the way, I'm just in case anyone likes to who wants to be clever on YouTube and say, oh well, you're just defending your mate. No, because
He doesn't. He criticises me.
Those. Yeah, that was completely your fault. Obviously, that crash earlier on.
Oh yeah,
but
I accept it.
But I think in Rookies, and in the series just above Rookies,
Yeah.
I think you've got to sometimes see what you can get away with.
Oh, you do. You need to push the limits a little bit to know.
You've got to have a go sometimes to go, all right, can that work? No, it didn't work. Okay, my fault. I'm never going to try that again.
Yeah, and that's one thing I've definitely learned. I don't know if anyone, you know, if you watch other races of mine, if you ever watch me when I'm right up on someone's backside, and it's coming to a corner, I'm always making sure I'll
put in the wall on the left.
Yep. A lot of people do go off there, but yeah, if I'm getting close to someone, I always make sure I'll back off, even if it means me losing a few tenths to them, because I don't want to ruin my race. I don't want to ruin their race. But what I've had, I mean, I had a race the other day here again, where we started. It was the outlap, and the pace car set off. The cars ahead of me went and then stopped, and there was a line of traffic. And then the guy behind me hit me twice before we'd even got going. And I'm just like, can you not use your eyes? And that's one thing rookies need to do, is use their eyes.
Racing behaviour.
Yeah, but it just baffles me, because like I'm maybe because I'm a bit more aware, but I watch for the people in front. Like let's say if I'm so close to someone, there's a corner coming up, and I can't get alongside them or overtake them, I'll back out and go again the next lap or the lap after. It's not worth it.
I'm guilty of leaving too much space as well sometimes when I'm behind people. I could probably get a little bit closer to them.
Yeah.
But I'm a bit like you. I like to just leave a little bit more space, and yeah, every now and again, you know, you go for a move and it doesn't come off. But
like here,
I mean, that's racing, isn't it?
I mean, like here, that guy's obviously pulled over because he's a back marker. He's been in the pits, so fair play to him.
Yeah, and that's sensible driving.
And this is not saying every rookie's an idiot, because they're not. No. Everyone's learning, but there are just a few obvious basics. If you're coming up to a corner and you're close to someone, they're gonna brake. The car in front is gonna brake. Oh, another off there.
Especially when.
Oh yeah.
Oh my.
Like here, now I'm so close to this guy, I'm not going to attempt to go so close to him, but I can go out wide and have a bit of a battle with him. But again, didn't have the pace going on the wide line. He gets ahead of me again. I'm not going to try and close the door on him or out. I'm just paying attention and making sure our race is at ruin, because that's all it takes is one little wrong manoeuvre and I'm in the wall, he's in the wall.
Just like all the rest of those people behind.
Yeah, like there, I could have probably gone a bit later on the brakes, but I'm risking taking him out. So, yeah, it's just about being sensible.
I think a good rule of thumb with an overtake, unless you really know that you can do it, is about a tenth or about 2/10 of a second is probably about the furthest back that you can kind of get away with being.
I think that's fair. Time. Yeah.
I mean, it depends on the corner. If you're going into a really tight hairpin or something like that, I think like this corner is no point because it's quite a fast entry. But if you're going into a hairpin, yeah, you can lunge from a bit further back because obviously you're braking down to a slower speed. But a couple of tenths is usually acceptable. If anybody comes from any further back than that, they're usually being a bit stupid.
I would agree.
And I mean, your incident earlier on, you were, oh my word,
another guy off, and then he's followed him off almost, and then easy to get that.
Just gonna get the place, and then you're gonna slip past.
Yeah,
nicely done.
Yeah, just go a bit wide on the getting towards the middle of that corner there, but still manage to keep it nice and solid. And
I think for you, just
keep the pressure on.
Just a consistency thing would definitely be.
Yeah.
It's definitely just something to work on with consistency of lines. I think is that sometimes I'm seeing quite a lot of the time. Actually, I'm seeing that you're coming in at a different angle nearly every lap.
I do. Yeah,
on certain corners, and I think that's just an experience thing that will come. But
it is, and I think the more time you put into a track, the more comfortable you get. But again, I think my another learning curve I've got is like racing against people, trying to not get too eager. But here I'm getting on this guy and look up the inside. Again, as I was saying, like I know there's time to get past him, so I know I'm gonna have to brake a bit harder so I don't end up spinning out wide. But he's
clobbered the curb as well, and that wasn't
really but he came.
What you could do.
No, and he came flying up. That first left-hander there, if you get that wrong, there is a bit of a bump and it will throw you out into traffic. I think that's why a lot of people cause crashes at the beginning of the race, is because they don't realise how hard that curb is if you hit it and how hard it'll throw you out.
Well, it looked like he tried to get the big cutback on you that time, but
it did.
It was always going to be difficult because it was that big long right-hander just after the first left, and always. If that had been a straight after that, I think he might have got you.
Yeah.
This corner still looks tricky to me every time.
It is.
You've got to be patient here.
Yeah, typically down to 1, then try and get up to 2nd just as you're getting around it, but it's still tricky.
So overall, then, as we reach sort of the halfway mark of the race,
it's been decent.
10 minutes or so, hasn't it? How do you feel that then your first couple of months on iRacing's gone? Because I mean, I feel like you're definitely getting into your stride a bit more now.
It's definitely been a challenge. Obviously, I've bought an entry level wheel and pedals and stuff, so I spent £200 to get them, which was good. But no, I'm definitely enjoying it. It's a lot better than playing Valorant half the time, because that's such a toxic environment, or Call of Duty with all your triads. But no, it's something. What I like about it, like with Valorant and Call of Duty and stuff, and these and FPS games, there is a skill ceiling, there is a learning curve. But with the racing, I think it's just a completely different way of gaming. It's obviously it's a sim racing. It's a simulation. It's actual, simulating what it's like to be a race driver. We don't. These are the games we play aren't actual sims, because no one's going to be an agent in Valorant with all these utilities. So I like the realistic element.
Powers.
Yeah, I like the realistic element to it, and I feel that because it's so well done as a racing game, because I spent a lot of time on Gran Turismo back in the day on PS2 and all that lot. Because it's high quality, it's really good. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I'd recommend it to anyone. I was never interested in racing until 2020 and F1, and then I tried doing F1 with obviously Formula Arma group, and playing on a controller was horrible, and I always hated it. Everybody knew I hated racing games, and then I thought one day, sod it, let's try it. And my thought was,
you weren't that bad though.
No, I did alright on them, but I just that was with like traction control and stuff and some assists on, but getting a wheel, not having assists, it's just so much better. And my thoughts was reverse engineer the thought of, I can drive IRL, can I drive in a game with a steering wheel and pedals? And it turns out I can a bit, but I'm still learning. But no, it's definitely been a purchase I'm happy to have made and continue to play, and it's probably the game I spend most time on.
The good thing about iRacing is, and I've said this to last week, and I've said it to other people over the years, it gets cheaper as the more years you do.
Oh yeah.
For some people the initial outlay is quite a lot, and
for sure.
You spend a few £100 on tracks and cars and stuff in your first couple of years, and you think, oh hell, I've spent a lot of money here. And that's your first real mistake in that section as well.
It was. I just carried a bit
of a dodgy kind of adaptation to try to get back on the track as well. But
just carried a bit too much pacing. Yeah, it was not good.
But then, but once you've bought those tracks, you know you've got those on the service for as long as you're a member. So
yeah.
You every season you're going to be needing to buy less tracks,
Mm-hmm.
and then if there's any tracks you want, I mean, at the moment I just buy it. If there's a track I want, I'll buy it, but I only buy 1 or 2 a year because that's all I need to get, because I've got the vast majority of them now. So
yeah, I've looked at the tracks coming out for the next week, and yeah, I can race them all. And one of the tracks I'm thinking looking at is the I think it's
that already feels better than 6 weeks ago for you, doesn't it?
Oh, for sure, yeah. It's the F4. I think it's the. Is it? Oh, where is it? I think there's 2 races at the same track this week. It's Road Atlanta. So the Toyota's there, and there's an F4 race there. So I'm thinking of trying the F4. You know, change it up a bit, throw a different car in, have some different experiences. Because I did a little bit of that. What was that? The race in, was it in Japan? Was it Okayama? Yeah, I did a bit of the F4 there and the Formula V and the 1600, and I enjoyed it. So I'm going to try the F4, I think, and give that a whirl. Because as much as I enjoy the Toyota, I'll still do that. But because there's 2 races at Road Atlanta, either way, I'm going to get some more practice at it. And I think that's the biggest thing. It's just, it might sound boring, but it's not actually that boring. But just doing the track over and over, because you're always going to learn a new line, or you're always going to pick up something. And the biggest tip I've found, or the biggest tip I can give, is when you go to practice session, watch the lap of the person who's fastest, because that's how I picked up some tips and tricks for this track and other tracks. Is I go and watch the person who's done the fastest lap and see what they're doing, because obviously you can see inside the cockpit, you can see what gears are going around each corner in, where they're braking, and that's really helped me with a lot of tracks, is watching them.
I think that I've just realised I've had my license promotions for this. So
very nice.
I've actually got my B license back in sports car, which
that's what you want.
I kind of rid myself of a while ago. So yeah. But I'm going to try and get my A license back this season, actually, if I can.
That's good to work on.
Try and get some safety rating and try and get up to that 3.43 at the minute. So
it's doable.
Trying to work on that. I was just going to ask you, obviously, though, as a new driver to the service, you know, so do you have a long-term kind of aim with iRacing? Is there any series, like any high-end series that you want to go in, or is there a specific sort of iRating number you want to reach? What's kind of, do you not have a goal? Do you not care? Is it just you just challenging yourself? What's the deal?
I think initially there wasn't really much of a goal, but since spending a lot of time in the Toyota, I think it's just pushing through with the Toyota and the sports car series and trying to just keep improving with them. But as it stands, there's no goal really. Like I say, I'd probably say the only goal is focusing on the Toyotas and the wherever that goes. So the Butt Kicker Cup, following that around for a bit. Yeah, I mean, if I can get to safety rating of 4 and get promoted to the next license before the end of the season, that'd be good. But if not, it's no dramas. I'll keep going. Yeah, that was off track there, which is annoying, and another slowdown penalty. Again,
which is also annoying, but it's easier to serve these at least.
It is. I mean, I managed to keep the pace up and get him to 4th and still drop the slowdown penalty. So I managed to keep some distance to the guy
then
behind.
He added another 3/10 on because you were a little slow serving it. Then he's hit you up the arse.
Yeah.
And then I think that's the thing. You had the pace on him, and it's frustrating because you had gained a couple of seconds on him, and then the slowdown came. Is that just because you're getting towards the the end of the race, and maybe just a bit of concentration going because you're on your own.
It is a little bit of that, and that first well, was it third corner that after the really sort of fast straight, it's still quite a tricky one because I was watching a guy and he said you take it in fifth, but
Yeah.
and then it's hard braking, but the hard braking I feel like I'm going to lose the car, so it's still a little bit of uncertainty and not wholly confident, but
to be kind of gentle with it, really, I guess. But,
yeah,
and just sort of.
it'd be interesting to see what you think of it.
That's another practice thing as well, isn't it? That's another sort of like, oh, I'm going to do 100 laps here, and that's how I'm going to figure this out.
Oh yeah, but Matey went off behind, and he's been overtaken by another car. But yeah, we're going well. Our old mate Frank is ahead of us.
I'm definitely noticing though that you are, you're pretty smooth with the wheel now, so that's good, because I know that was one of the things originally that you were sort of a little, it wasn't too easy for you at first, but
yeah, no, again, I think like I said just a minute ago, it's about practice. It's like learning how to, you are learning how to steer and race, and improve your racecraft. But that's what it is.
If you listen to any of these coaches, any of these iRacing coaches, sim racing coaches, driving coaches in general, people think it's the steering that's the thing. It's the steering's important, but it's getting the car to rotate with the throttle and the brake.
Yeah,
getting that weight transfer. There's a guy on your outside. Oh, that was very close.
It was, but thankfully he backs off and he doesn't.
You just gave him. Oh. Yeah, I think you might have cut down again to the apex again. That time.
Could have been, yeah.
'Cause I think that's the thing. If you know someone's sort of got that run, I think you've got two choices in that situation. You either completely park it on the inside, and you literally park it on the corner and stop them from cutting back, or you've just got to go around that wide line and keep that momentum, because if they decide they want to cut back, well, that's up to them. But if you keep that momentum around the outside, it gives you the best chance of staying ahead. Yeah, you might not always do it,
but as you can see, the back, he's gone off there. So so I don't know if he got damage or whatever, but the guy behind us went off. He had another coming together with another car. So yeah, people do get feisty in this. In the Toyotas, they do like to really push hard.
But as I've been out of rookies a long time, right?
So you've got the good racing.
No, this is not what I was getting at really. But since 2012, I've been out of rookies, right? And the and what I'm seeing is, it's not necessarily people doing stupid things on purpose, but it's just, and it's you and a lot of other people as well. A lot of other people having the same issues that you're having, because you can tell a lot of you are new drivers. It's awareness. It's just awareness of situations and awareness of what other cars are going to do. But that only comes from having races.
Yeah. The more races you do, the more aware you become.
Having races with human opponents.
Oh, 100%. Like,
Because it's like, it's all right, sometimes. Yeah, I know you can do races with AI and stuff, which I think for me would be more for a thing that I would do more for fun than actually for training. But I think you've got to almost learn to react to the unpredictability of human opponents and what they're doing.
Yeah,
Because
completely agree.
That's for me the holy grail of this is to know what the opponent's going to do, and to avoid collisions and avoid accidents through just not knowing where they are, or not anticipating somebody doing things. The amount of calculations we make in our brain, it's millions per second, isn't it? Our brain's always going, but then it's sometimes just those one or two calculations that you need to make on iRacing, which I think the difference between winning or finishing and not finishing. That is a horrendous bump. I've seen that a few times.
Yeah, it's that corner is just horrible. But I will also apologise for the quality of this video. It is on Windows Media Player purely because I genuinely forgot to save this replay on iRacing.
Hasn't it?
Yeah, so I do apologise for that. But hey,
we made it through most of the race with decent quality. So
Yeah, it keeps coming back. It keeps coming back. But yeah, lesson to remember: always record your iRacing replays if you want to make a video out of them.
Now, I think that this video is a good one for a lot of rookies to watch because, and brand new iRacers especially, because I think it's shown that there's a lot of, even in a long race where you're not really always racing people that closely, there's still a lot of things a lot of dangers, a lot of things that you need to avoid. Like the slow down penalties, like back markers, like other drivers who might have a different idea of what constitutes good racing or not to you. But it is a really good example of a rookie race, really, this, because you haven't necessarily done a great deal wrong. Yeah, you had that one incident where you've took somebody out, you've held your hands up to that, and that's good. But it's shall we say, it just shows what it's like to be a rookie in 2024.
No, I agree. Yeah,
these tracks are not easy. People are used to the Okayama Short Circuit and Lime Rock Park, which are much easier tracks than this. I think anyway, and I think that's maybe another reason that you get quite a lot of incidents here is because.
I'd completely agree because
track itself is quite hard to just drive on its own.
It is, like from where I started in the the D class and the rookie and then the D class and working your way up, I've definitely seen the tracks get much harder, and like this is a hard track to drive. Like I've spent a bit of time practicing it, but it is genuinely a difficult track to drive for someone at my level and the people I'm racing at level. I mean, if you're top level,
it's got the advantages of you're not going to end up in a wall and things like that usually because you've got those runoff areas like we talked about in the last in the last round.
And here we are. We're on the white flag, last lap coming up, and still in 7th. So a bit of fighting going on with our matey earlier, but managed to keep it in 7th. We've got 3.2 seconds behind. I did want to try and catch Frank. I owed him one from a race at Daytona where he decided to hit me off twice, rule my race. Did get protested, and it was a successful protest, so I felt vindicated, and I wasn't just being a money little whatever. But I was hoping to try and catch him. But that's another thing with rookies as well. It's quite funny to start actually seeing names you remember, whether it's because you've had incidents with them or you've had really good close battles with them. It's actually really nice to get that point. To that point. Ooh, and this was a back marker. I thought he might have gone a bit wider to give me a bit of space, but then I follow him out wide because that's what you do when you're racing. You follow the car ahead. So he did try and give me space there, I think. So fair play to him, but I just messed it up. And I just thought, and now mate, you see coming back into the picture.
Hang on, the rain starts coming down.
I don't know why, but the wipers keep going off now and again. No, there's no rain, but I've had it in a few races where the rain's just kept gone on and off a bit. But
it's weird. I thought I saw some rain, but maybe I just imagined it. Maybe there was a tiny bit of rain. Who knows?
Could have been. But yes, but here we are, last corner. He's staying wide to let me through. But yeah, there we are. This was the best race. Finished in 7th, so it was a great race. Comfortable top 10 finish. Yeah, wonderful. I keep going a little bit further because I don't trust people not to smack me and give me some more incident points.
I always think go around a couple of corners.
Yeah,
that's what I do. I go around a couple of corners and then stop because nobody's just going to finish, not use their eyes, and just smash into the back of you.
Exactly. But there we go. Best race, save the best to last. It's a new week now, and it's Road Atlanta coming up. So do stay tuned for more of these videos incoming. But yeah, again, Woody, thanks for being here. And we'll catch you in the next one.
Thanks, mate. A pleasure.